Today's vlog is about making a vlog. So I've been thinking about the artificial nature of recording yourself and cutting it together and placing it on YouTube or whatever platform you like for the world to see. Is that truly a personal diary, or is it a constructed? Well, it is constructed. Everybody knows it's constructed. But there is this dissonance between you trying to represent your life and what ultimately is a variation on reality television. Recording random acts to just be cut together and put out there for the world to consume on some level seems trite. And yet, perhaps that is the the old-fashioned caveman version of me thinking things backwards, and in attempting it I am coming up against my own biases of what the medium is capable of.
I want to become a good vlogger. But what does it mean to be a good vlogger? Am I just taking endless snippets of my life, cobbling it together, and shoving it into the portal of YouTube for a few people to waste their time on? Is that what this is about? Or maybe I'm giving it less credence than it's worth. Maybe vlogging has a kind of efficiency. You see, I think of vlogging a little bit differently, and I find its purposes different than other entrepreneurs that have ventured in this direction. For me, vlogging is a way to see myself. Let me expound on that. When you are, I don't know if anybody else has had this experience. If you watch somebody on TV, a specific actor, it doesn't even have to be specific. If you watch for an extended times anybody on TV or YouTube, it doesn't matter, any type of screen, and you're watching people, your mind tends to mirror them. You start to see yourself in them. You start to take on their attributes, their physicality, their anatomy, their structure. You tend to see yourself in your internal locus. You tend to see yourself as that person. And I've had this experience when later on in the day, when I happen to walk by a mirror and I see myself and I see my reflection, and I'm taken aback for milliseconds, going, oh, that's me. That's how I look. That's not the version that I have in my head. I am not a symmetrically perfectly proportioned movie star. No, no. I have too many flaws. My voice doesn't sound as demonstrably eloquent and godlike as Morgan Freeman. No, I have a rather forgettable, rather inarticulate, rather boring elocution. I don't have the intellectual preciseness and honesty and directness of a Sam Harris. Vlogging to me is a way to see myself more clearly. When you vlog, you're holding the camera often. You're It's not staged. There is no perfect lighting. You get to see yourself as you are in the conditions that you find yourself in on that particular day. It is not even the end product that is the most fascinating part. It's the editing phase of a vlog. So you gather all this footage through the day of yourself in different situations throughout the day. And then as you are cutting that footage together, you see all of the all of the little subtle ways you act, the way you speak, the way your lip curls on the side, the way you sometimes in the pauses have your mouth open, you look ridiculous, but you don't know that. In your mind, you don't know that until you see the footage of it. So there is a real self-learning mechanism in doing a vlog every day. Now, it would be easier to do just a Snapchat, or if you're wanting to keep a visual journal of your life, you can do an Instagram or a Facebook post update. But there's something a little bit harder about doing a vlog. You have to be intentional about it. It's not as whimsical and not as easy a task to perform. And I think by vlogging being a little bit more time consuming and necessitating a higher level of commitment from the individual, it creates an opportunity for the person to learn a little bit about themselves. You learn to let go of the ego in the sense you over time learn to become, if not graceful, at least appreciative, at least okay with who you are as a person. The way you speak, the way you articulate, the way you look, all of that becomes less of a distraction, less of a bruise to the ego every time you encounter it in a photograph or on any screen. One is always fooled because one never sees oneself interacting with the world. You're always in your head imagining what you are, and that hubris can get you in trouble. So for me, vlogging is a way to get out of my own head, which is funny because on the surface level, vlogging seems to be the most narcissistic act one can perform. But if done in the right way, it can be a tool for self-observation. It could be Van Gogh doing a self-portrait or Rembrandt doing a self-portrait. In doing a self-portrait, that is a keen method of learning about oneself.